My name's Brandon, and I did 5 years in prison. I grew up in a pretty good household. My dad had his own construction business. He was a kickboxer. He's actually a state champ. And he had his own construction company. He had 30 guys working for him, and I was spoiled rotten when I was a kid. And I looked up to my dad as this tough and strong man. He was my role model in life. And the only problem was he bought and sold drugs, and he would get high. And I had 2 uncles that also lived at the house, and a brother. And I ended up losing my uncles to a drug overdose. And then my dad started to spiral into addiction and started pawning things in the house. And probably about the age 13 or 14, I started to smoke pot and do cocaine. And by 19, I was smoking crack and went down a real destructive road. And my dad was a heroin addict. And my mom divorced my dad at 18. And it wasn't long after that, all 3 of us were living together somewhere else. My mom had to leave because she couldn't watch us destroy our lives. We ended up on the street, and we were homeless, living in a tent, actually by a Home Depot in the middle of just the woods. And our mission was to get food and enough money to get high for that day. I'll never forget seeing my dad on one corner and my brother on the other. And I saw this man who was well respected and was a kickboxer, owned his own business, to have nothing, sold it all. And now he's out here panhandling because of his addiction. And so I watched a man lose everything, a man that I looked up to. And I blame God for that. I blame God for the situation I was in, and not realizing it was my choices and my dad's choices that left us there. I ended up at a church in Westgate where to get off the street, they would require us to attend service for 2 hours. And I would hear songs played, and I hated hearing them. I would hear worship songs, like "Open the Eyes of My Heart, Lord." And it wasn't long after that, I got kicked out of the church for getting high. And I remember being so alone because my brother and my dad were still at that church, and that's when it was a lonely and hopeless road. And then eventually I started to steal to support my habit. And while I was in the county, those songs that I sang back in the church when I was homeless, because there was no radio or nothing like that, I would sing those songs, and I didn't know why, but I look back now and it was God drawing me. It wasn't till I got to this prison out in Pahokee, and I'll never forget it. It was June 11th, 2012. I come into the room, and my roommates are all using, they're all getting high, and I get high with them. The thing is that I would lay down on my bunk, and I would put my headphones on. No one would bother you if you had the Bible up and you had headphones on. So that was a way of escaping from everybody. But a song came on. It talked about this battle that raged on in our rebel hearts, this fight that I cannot win. And we wave our white flags, we surrender. And I felt like God was wanting me to surrender at that time, because I began to think to myself, I said, Brandon, you're doing the same thing that led you to prison, and if you leave here with the same mindset, you're gonna end up dead or back in prison. And so I made a choice that day, and it's something I can't explain. It's something that happened on the inside. Something changed in I surrendered, and it's something that happened in my spirit that I was done. And regardless of opposition or failures or difficulties, I was going to pursue God wholeheartedly. and I was gonna seek Him throughout the day. And from that day forward, since I made that choice to surrender, God started to put people in my life, and He started to lead me to step out in faith in areas. My life today is really good. I never thought that I would be where I'm at today. In my past, I never thought I would ever get out of that place that I was. I now have a good job where I'm a warehouse manager for 16 stores, and I have my own place, and that's amazing in itself. I have my family. I have a beautiful fiance that I'm fixing to get married to in about a month. The people that I have in my life is just so rich, and I'm so thankful for the people in my life and what God has done for me today, and it's all because of His grace and His love in my life. Somebody was struggling and wanting to go back to their old lifestyle that led them to addiction or prison. I would advise to replay that in their head. Where did it lead you before in the past? And I think when we stop and we pause and we reflect on where this is going to bring me, what is the outcome of this lifestyle, then we would be more apt to not do it. If you're struggling, just reach out.